difference between the normal granny square and the modified granny square is pretty easy. In the normal granny square, we usually have 3 chains in the corner and 3 chains at the beginning of the round, and 1 chain or 2, depends on the design, between the clusters, so the double crochet clusters. In my modified granny square, we are gonna have chain 2 here at the beginning of the rounds and chain 2 in the corner. We are not going to have any chain between the clusters, so every cluster will be directly attached to each other. How this pattern works? So we are going to start with a magic circle or magic loop, and then we do 2 chains more than the one we do with the magic loop. Then everything I'm telling you now will be inside the magic loop. So 2 chains, 2 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochet, 2 chains. We join with the slip stitch to the first 2 chains we did. Now what we are gonna do is 2 chains, but at this point we will work in the other direction. So we will turn this work and we'll go this way. That's why you see the arrows in different directions. So the 2 chains that we do at the beginning of every round will count as double crochet. That's why you see at the first ones just 2 double crochet. Again, what I was saying was that for the second row we are gonna work this way, turning our work. So it will actually look like we are always working from the right to the left, but you will work in the other direction. So we are gonna do these ones inside the chain space, and then we jump directly here without doing any chain here, and we work this one in the 2 chain space, and so on. Again, when we finish here, we will do a slip stitch to attach to the chains, and then 2 chains that it works like a double crochet, and we go this direction. We follow the pattern this way. Let's get started. We will start with the magic loop or magic circle, as you prefer you call it, and please leave a little bit of a tail so we can weave ends later. Now we do 2 chains that, as we said, will count as the first double crochet. And then now we start with the cluster. The cluster is made of 3 double crochet, so 2 chains and 2 double crochet. And the first cluster is done. Then we work 2 chains and 3 double crochet. I pull a little bit, 2 chains, and 3 double crochet. Now if you pull a little bit, you will see that we are almost there. Okay, so we did 1, 2, 3 cluster, and for the pattern you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are gonna do the last one. So 2 chains and 3 double crochet. Now 2 chains, and we are gonna close in the 2 chain space we did at the beginning. That looks like a double crochet. But what we are gonna do now is also changing color. Don't worry now about the loop here because we will tighten later. So we are gonna change the color. What we are gonna do is insert our hook here on the top of the 2 chain we did at the beginning, taking the second color, which in my case is the orange, and join them together. This is how you change color. Now, as I mentioned before, we have to go in the other direction. So what we are gonna do now is doing 2 chains. So 1 and 2. Now we are gonna turn our work this way. Take your yarn that you just joined and the yellow one, but we take these 2, we pull it a little bit to reduce the distance, and we are gonna work inside here 2 double crochet, and this is the first part of our corner. Okay, now we are gonna do 2 chains to create the corner, and again 3 double crochet. So So now we leave our yarn here because we can't bring that with us anymore. We're gonna cut the yellow the same size of the other tails because we don't need the yellow anymore for now. And we continue with our orange. So we say that we did the corner. So 3 double crochet, even if it's 2 chain and 2 double crochet, our 2 chain space here and 3 double crochet. Now, as I mentioned before, in the normal granny square you will do a chain or 2 chains. I'm not gonna do any chain, I'm gonna join here directly. So I will do 3 double crochet in the 2 chain space we did before. Now I'm doing 2 chains for the corner space and 3 double crochet. Now again, as before, we are not gonna do any chain here, we're gonna join directly the corners. Again, 3 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochet. And we do the same in the last one. Now we finish our orange part, so the second color. Again, we are not gonna chain anything here, but we are gonna join the 2 chains we did before, but we are gonna change color again. So I enter here it can be a little bit complicated. I'm gonna take the red and I'm going to close the slip stitch with the red. Now I'm going to cut my orange because we don't need it now. I'm gonna proceed with the red like we did before. So 2 chains, and we turn our work this way, we keep our yarn with us, and we do 2 double crochet. Now, as you can see, we worked inside the space between the 2 clusters, but there is no chain. So even here you see there is no chain here, just 3 double crochet and 3 double crochet, but we work in this space. So now what we are gonna do is the corner, so we leave our yarn here. We are gonna do 3 double crochet, 2 chains and 3 double crochet. Now we are gonna work in this space 3 double crochet. And we continue like this until we reach the end. Now what we are gonna do is pulling the center of the magic circle, so that will be really close. If you want to close your granny square, you just do a slip stitch in the end here and you will be finished. In my case, I want to do a border of single crochet. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close the slip stitch but changing a color again because I would like to do the border with the yellow. So I'm gonna enter again the 2 chains we did before. I'm gonna change color, close the slip stitch with this way, and this time I won't turn. So what I'm gonna do is cutting the red, because I'm not using that anymore, taking my yarn, both the red and the yellow, so I'm gonna bring them with me and I don't have to wait them at the end. I'm gonna do 1 chain and then I'm gonna do a single crochet in each of the stitches I made before. So it will be 3 for every cluster, 1, 2 and 3, and here again 1, 2 and 3, and then in the 2 chain space I will do 3 single crochet, because in this way we will form a corner. So let me show you. So we said that we bring the yarn with us, so here I will enter in the same space I made the slip stitch, so it will be 1, and then it will be in the second one, which is our actually first double crochet we did before, 2 and 3 in the third double crochet. Now again, always bringing my yarn with me, I'm gonna do 1, 2 and 3. Now I'm in the corner, so in the 2 chain space inside here I'm gonna work 3 single crochet. Now again I will have 3 double crochets, I will work 3 single crochet. So I'm gonna enter here on the top of the stitch. I do 1, 2 and 3, and I go ahead all the way around. Remember to do 3 single crochet in each 2 chain space. Okay, now that you did all the border, don't worry if it's doing like this curving, is absolutely normal. Now that we do all the border, we have to close it. So don't get confused. The first one you see here is actually your slip stitch. So what we are gonna do is enter in the first single crochet we did and do a slip stitch like this, and then we pull it this way, so it will be really small. Then we cut the yarn and we pull through and we close the stitch. So our modified granny square is done. Now we know that this round, the last we worked, is the one that will be in front because we did the border facing us. So what we are gonna do is moving all these ends are in the front, in the back. So we just use our crochet hook and we move it on the back. And now we are gonna weave ends. So we take our needle, darning needle. I start with the one that comes from the circle because I prefer it, but you can start wherever you want. And we start to weave ends, not in the part where you come from, but from this side. Now, many people think that we cannot do knots together. It really depends. So I suggest you to do not only knots because it won't be enough for you to keep your yarn from ripping, especially if you wash this or etc. But if you want to do a little bit of a knot, for example, between these two, you can do it. The important thing is you will weave ends later anyway. In my case, I can do knots because since I'm gonna create a bag that you will see here now, and in the description you will find the pattern, I will use a lining in the back of the work, so even if I do some knots, you won't see it. Okay, instead, if you're gonna do a wearable like a cardigan, etc., you won't have a lining, so if you do not, you will see them, so it's not indicated. Okay, now we weave ends really secure. We cut in a way that we are not gonna see them, and we are gonna weave all the other ends. Okay, now that we weaved all the ends, we finish our work. So what we can do now is join them together, this one for example, or you create another one with the same colors and you join them together. And you can decide if you want to block them now with some board like this one that can help you with blocking, or if you prefer to join them together and then block them later. It really depends on the project you want to do. Usually for a cardigan, you block them before and then you join them after. For the bags, usually I prefer not blocking them at this stage, but just join them together and then block them where maybe there are like 4 of them. Okay, it really depends, it's up to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would like to ask you to put a like and to subscribe my channel. In the boxes in the right now you can see the links to other video I recorded if you want to have a look. Have a lovely day!